Hey everybody, this is Craig from Nightwolf Games, and today, let's talk Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods, Part 1. Alright, so, I'll put spoilers towards the end. I'll give you a big spoiler warning. This fucking cat. Look at this handsome boy! He missed the shit out of me today. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I'm doing a review. So, I'm going to put spoilers at the end. I'll give you a big spoiler warning. Story stuff towards the end. So, when I do reviews, and I've said this in my streams of this game, when I do reviews, I try to be realistic in the nature of, like, what other people may not like about what I'm playing, regardless of how I feel about it. It's totally not realistic for somebody to review something that they're just biased towards because they love it, like I am with Doom. Like, if you're a regular on this channel, you know how much I love Doom. I've streamed it. I streamed it for almost a year straight, Doom 2016. I beat Doom Eternal 3 times back to back, and I try and go on weekly to do all the weekly challenges. So it's fair to say that before you hear this review, I absolutely love Doom from the original all the way up until, all the way up until 2016. I mean, all the way up until Doom Eternal. So, let me get the bad things before I start praising it out of the way. If you're not a huge Doom fan, you may actually feel slighted by a $20 price tag on a DLC like this. Because I got through it fairly quickly when I started it when it first came out, and then I took a couple days off. I played Mortal Kombat, and then I went back into it, and I beat it in 2 days, right? And that was just giving a little bit of my time for a stream. So I think I ended up beating the DLC in 5 hours, okay? Now, some people may not be a fan of the length, and some people may not be a fan of, they kind of justified the length because it's only 3 big levels. Like, justifying the length of the game by making it more difficult, because they pretty much said whatever difficulty you played the main story on, fuck you. And they upped the difficulty. It's hard. Like, before I got into the swing of things, when I did the first level, my first stream of that was just pure frustration. I was like, why is this so difficult compared to what it was before? Doom's not supposed to be a cakewalk. It's not supposed to be easy. Like, you're supposed to die if you stop moving. But I was moving and I was dying a lot. I was playing it the same way I was playing it originally. So if like I saw through that, I just personally didn't mind it because I liked the challenge. I don't play games like Dark Souls or what is it, Shadows Die Twice, or Bloodborne. I've played Bloodborne, but I don't like enjoy those games. I don't go out of my way and look for a game that's just like impossible level. Not that they're not good games, it's just not my cup of tea. For some reason, Doom gets a pass for me. I don't know if it's nostalgia or just the whole package of Doom. I enjoy that. However, be warned that if you did not buy this DLC yet, like, be warned, it's only 3 big levels. They're gigantic. They're bigger than any other levels in the main game. But it's still, it took me 5 hours to beat. And after the first level, like I said, when I got in the swing of things, it went faster. Even though the levels got longer, the game went faster for me. And, like, I finished the 2nd level and the 3rd level this morning in an hour. And I beat the final boss all the way till credits rolling. It only took me an hour. So, just be warned before you spend $20 on it. Only if you're going for the single player. If you play battle mode, they added some extra stuff in battle mode that you may be interested in. But the way that the DLC was promoted is that it's the big single player DLC. So, it's not as grand as they made it sound. However, if you're a big fan of Doom, I loved it. And it was completely, the $20 entry fee for the DLC was justified to me. Like, I cannot wait for part 2. I know personally, my cousin Hank was irritated that it was part 1 and not a complete thing. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. It was way shorter, and they padded the time by justifying it by making it extra difficult. So if that's not your cup of tea, then maybe wait until the season pass or just this DLC, because it's standalone, is on sale, you know, for $14.99 or $9.99. I don't see it going down anytime soon. However, Black Friday is around the corner, so who knows. Now, what did I personally dislike about the game? Something that the average player may not care about. One thing I thoroughly I don't know, this is hard. The music was good, but it definitely wasn't Mick Gordon. Like the sound effects and assets and stuff like that were from Mick Gordon are all in here. But the music was tame. It didn't have the same effect. Now, what made Doom, to me, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal so great is not just the soundtrack, it's not just the gameplay, not just the expanded lore and the atmosphere and the bright colors and the, you know, whatever, they brought it back. Like, it felt like they brought it back to the original Doom. It was the whole package. And now a piece of that is missing, but it's not bad, like I said. It's just different. So it's kind of like you get that there's a lot of firefights because, like I said, they padded the difficulty to justify the playtime. Or they justify the length, not necessarily the playtime, because if you die a lot, you're going to be doing a lot of firefights. The checkpoints are further apart, especially during, like, you'll have firefight, checkpoint. And some of them you have a really big firefight and a checkpoint. It's all over the place. But if you fuck up near, and you always know in a firefight in Doom when you're near the end because of the type of enemies they throw out at you. That shit went out the window immediately. I started a firefight with a fucking tyrant there. And then the enemies just ended up going a downward slope, which was super weird. But anyways, you know when you're near the end, and then all of a sudden your life starts getting choked out, and you're like, I don't want to do this again. I enjoy that. I really enjoy that, the anxiety that it gives me. I know that's super weird, but I enjoy the anxiety that game gives me, and the frustration of dying like 3 times in a firefight and then finally getting it. The reward is just like amazing. Hank's actually, I don't know, he's sending me something about Xbox right now. But yeah, so what happens is during those firefights, when I died a lot in the previous games, I didn't mind it because the soundtrack's banging. I rocked the soundtrack in my car. So it was kind of like, all right, well, I don't want to do that part again, but that was a fucking awesome track. And, you know, I'll do things a little differently this time, blah, blah, blah. It didn't have that same appeal where I was like, all right, I died, but at least I have this part. That's cool. I get to do that again. It just took something away, but it wasn't so negative that I'm gonna shit all over the new composer. He did a great job. It wasn't the same. And it's not like, you know, the series has gone stale where you're like, I need to change. I equate it to Silent Hill Downpour, right? There was a huge noticeable difference in the atmosphere of the game when Akira was gone as the composer. When Akira was gone, the sound is like one of the things that brought the whole Silent Hill atmosphere together, and it kind of fell apart without it. So while Doom's isn't that bad, the atmosphere of the game didn't fall apart. It's something that I was just kind of like, man, and I was looking forward to it because I knew it was going to be, I have a video on here about the whole thing. I knew it was going to be a new composer, but I was a little let down, I guess. The gameplay's awesome. The addition of the new enemies, what the fuck are they? The ghosts, the spirit. Thank God, Macintosh, if you're watching this, that you told me how to kill them, because I didn't think you could kill them, and they just kept jumping into other enemies, and I was like, when the fuck does this end? But you can kill them. But I thought they were a cool enemy because they just added another layer of challenge, and like I said, I enjoyed that. But that was another way they boosted the difficulties when you get to the spirits and they start taking over other enemies. Like, well, you can't freeze them anymore. They're fucking twice as fast as you, twice as fast as their original version, and they're way stronger. But that was a cool thing to me because that kind of made me change up the weapons that I use, because in Doom, I always fall into, I like this weapon, you know, for a certain firefight, and I usually use 2 in tandem. And you can still see that in my streams. Once I cracked the code, I still ended up using shotgun mini rockets. But this one it made you expand out. It made you switch from mini rockets on your machine gun over to precision bolt. You have to use a precision bolt in certain areas. So it did some good things. It did some bad things. I enjoyed it. I really can't wait for part 2, and now I'll tell you why. This is the spoiler part. So it wasn't a surprise, obviously, that Hayden was, you know, one of the makers. But I was shocked because he's you know, people didn't like the face turn that he got in Doom Eternal, and it seemed like they tried to put him back to heel turn because you fight him, he's a boss. But you also only fight him because Slayer, the Doom Slayer, just kind of fucked him over, right? I don't know. He's not done. That's one thing that irritated me. I knew it was going to be multiple parts, but I kind of wanted, like, I wanted to kill Hayden, all right? Because we all know who the next boss is going to be. It's going to be you. It's going to be the evil version of you. And then you'll probably have to fight Samuel Hayden again. But, or Samuel. Samael? Whatever. Samuel? Samuel, right? Is that what it was? His name was Samuel. They called him that. But, yeah, he escaped. What I want to see, though, since he did escape, is there was a fucking massive one at the end of the main game. Remember? You see the massive one in the water? I want him in that body, and I want to fight him. But I'm very excited, so I don't know. I guess, you know, having the evil version be like the personification of the Dark One, be the evil version of you with no gear on, it kind of was a letdown, a little bit. I was expecting some, like, massive new demon, and maybe saying that the evil version of the Doom Slayer is, like, an easy way out. But I don't know. I can't wait to see what 2 brings. I have a feeling I'm not going to be disappointed by it, but I don't know. Hopefully they not bring the difficulty down, because I'll just end up moving up a difficulty, but I don't know. I got to look it up. I haven't looked anything up because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself. I just have a feeling that, like, as I was playing it, I was like, people are not going to like the difficulty curve that they threw in this. So it'll be interesting to see. But thank you guys for watching. I hope everybody enjoys Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods Part 1. Thank you for watching.